Welcome everyone to the first technical session of the day. So today with us, Mr. Barnet Hellman from the Adobe. He is a senior manager at Magento Customer Engineering. He will going to present and share the knowledge about the site-wide analysis tool. He will give the overview and also share the live demo. So let's welcome Mr. Barnet Hellman, and let me hand over to Mr. Barnet Hellman and start the session.
Thank you very much. Hopefully you all can hear me. I had a little bit of microphone problem to start. I will speak up. Today I'm going to talk to you about the SWAT tool, the site-wide analysis tool. The tool was built by the Magento customer engineering. It's for site information, analysis, and instrumentation. It's basically a dashboard. It's a single pane of glass where we collect data, and the information presented that I will show you here shortly, both in the presentation and the live demo, is completely self-service. You'll be able to take this information and use it yourself to actually update and upgrade your site. So a little bit about me, a little bit of self-promotion. I've been with Magento/Adobe now, coming up on 3 years in about a day. I need to change that slide. I've been in the industry about 35 years. I have a background in various parts of the industry, from distribution and manufacturing all the way into finance and e-commerce. So enough about me, and let's get into this. So I'm going to do this presentation in 3 parts. One is the overview, which is the PowerPoint, live demo, and then we'll have some time left over for Q&A. Get your questions ready. So let's get into the overview part. So what am I expecting from y'all? What are the expectations? Basically, this tool is a real-time monitoring of site-wide insights, and it's crucial to managing your Magento site. The aim is to give you an overview to gain full understanding of the site-wide tool, and then we've defined some learning objectives here, 1 through 5, that you can sit and read. What does SWAT actually mean? What's the purpose? Why do we build it? How do we build it? How do we collect the data? How do you get into the tool real-time access? And then how do you use the tool to identify issues and then go fix them? So what is the tool? It's basically Magento's continued drive for initiative to help the customers, to help the customer be successful. The tool monitors sites, all of Magento Cloud Commerce sites, 24/7 to identify potential issues. From those potential issues, we come up with recommendations and we deliver it on a dashboard. The recommendations are based on Magento's best practices that can be found in the Magento's dev docs as well as the knowledge base articles. The tool itself is just a unified dashboard. It's a massive UI with a lot of back-end processing that is done on our own site, not on the customer site. It's an individualized analysis by customer, offering proactive self-service recommendations, and it's always on. No matter what time of the day you want to get to it, the tool is there. So the dashboard, the what, the how, and another what. So let's get into how this thing works, just so you have a base understanding of all the information that we are collecting right now. We aggregate data from all over Adobe and with Adobe's partners. You can see that we use Zendesk, which is our service desk ticketing system, New Relic that we grab infra as well as browser and application information, Magento Marketplace if you happen to be using extensions. We actually grab information from the customer cloud environment. We grab information from Fastly, the CDN, as well as WAF. And then you'll see here that we are constantly adding features to this tool. For example, the security and on-premise customers will be coming very, very shortly. And we've just got finished, and I will get into this a little bit more, the Magento Quality Patch tool, where we actually show you patches that are required and optional based on the version of Magento you are using. So from that, basically, you will see a dashboard. This dashboard is real-time access. It's online 24 hours a day. The part of it is that you must be on version 2.4.1 or higher to have this access. It is not being backported to any previous versions whatsoever. So a little incentive to get you up on the latest version. And in fact, 2.4.2 was just announced recently that's coming out in just a few weeks. Put a plan together, get up on this system, and SWAT's, you can get to this thing 24 hours a day. And the best part of it all, it comes with Magento. It's free. There is no extra charge. There are no fees involved. It's there purposely to help you fix your sites from issues that we find. So how does it work? As I previously stated, we collect data from all over and we dump it into our own SaaS environment. We have a SWAT environment built out on AWS that we keep all of this data, then we put a UI on top of it. So it's augmented customer self-service. Come to this dashboard, you can see things. We give you the recommendations on how to fix things, site-specific findings. As I stated, it's an individualized dashboard by customer. So every customer's dashboard is gonna look a little different than another customer, purposely so. But everybody's getting the best recommendations based on the issues that we find. It's real-time updates. We don't test, we sample all this data. Every 3 hours, we're pulling data and reanalyzing all the information that we've collected. This is to give the customers as well as internal users inside of Adobe and Magento the most up-to-date, relevant information about the customer site. It's always continuous point-in-time analysis, and it's iterative. Like I said, every 3 hours, we go grab data. It's end-to-end. The tool started off literally 2 years ago now as an internal application scripts that we just ran when we needed to analyze customer sites. And it has turned into this dashboard. We not only do application now, but we are starting to get into scripting to analyze what's going on with the infrastructure as well as the tech stack. And it's PCI compliant. Know that your data is protected as we collect it. We've passed every single Adobe security audit, as well as the penetration test that we just finished most recently about 2 weeks ago. So what's the other what? Well, it's what are the tabs? The tabs on the dashboard, and we'll get in and I'll show you this dashboard shortly, but there's a main dashboard that shows the health overview. It gives you an overview of what we're seeing on the site. Not a lot of detail. Think of it as a summary of what your site's looking like. There's an information tab there. It's 30 plus customer dynamic data, things like SKU and product and attributes and rules. And it also shows you the application tech stack and the support dates. For example, if a piece of tech is going end of life, EOL within 60 days, or you're running something that's end of life, it comes up and shows you on this information tab. The recommendations tab, basically how this tool got started, how the site-wide analysis actually got started is the bottom line is right here, the findings. We were using scripts to go find critical outages when sites went down so we could understand what was going on related to a root cause, related to a site impact, and then figure out how to fix it. Once we get all this data, we wrote the scripts, we tested the scripts, and that's the finding. Part of that script is offering recommendations, and these recommendations are built in such a way that they are completely self-service. We give you the tools, the documentations. A lot of times the actual code is written, example code is in the recommendation to be able to fix the issue that is found. Another tab, exceptions. Basically, we are looking at the log files, frequency and occurrence of the exceptions. Sometimes we don't know why the exception is being thrown, but we do our best to grab the exception data, the path where it came from, and you will see on some of these new checks that we do, we're actually working with New Relic and offering what's called a distributed trace, that you can actually download the traces and see where exactly in your stack, in your code, this exception is being thrown so that you can go fix it. Extensions, we analyze your third-party extensions, and just recently, we've added third-party complete libraries. We look at the version, the support dates. Is this extension in support, out of support, based on the information on the Adobe Marketplace, formerly the Magento Marketplace. We also analyze installed versus enable status. This is very, very critical. We have discovered through this analysis, through building this tool, that there are many extensions that are downloaded, actually using resources on your environments, but they've never been enabled. You are not physically using them. They're just sitting there eating resources. We sit and analyze and tell you installed versus enabled. If it's installed, it's probably a candidate to be deleted. Next, we most recently integrated with the Magento managed alerts. They're managed alerts that Magento has built using New Relic data. It came out of the core performance engineering team and the cloud engineering team. They send us JSON files by customer, unique to the customer itself, and we provide instructions before thresholds is reached. So for example, as you reach 90% of disk, or you're approaching your vCPU, or you're approaching or utilizing more memory, or your IOPS, for example, are exceeding because you're having a campaign, we're able to analyze this data and get it up on our dashboard as fast as possible. Literally, as the alert happens, it is displayed on the dashboard. Patches, this is another recent improvement. We have integrated the Magento quality patch tool, known as MQP if you hear it. Basically, it offers patches by the version of Magento that you are using, whether it's 2.3.5, P1, or 2.3.2, or 2.4. We sit and we give you patches based on 3 different criteria. One, required. It's literally a hot fix. It needs to be put on. The other is customized. If you've customized some of Magento and we note it or analyze it, we tell you that this is a custom patch. Take a look at the description and put it on your system. And then optional patches. And optional patches are based on, are you using these features? Does your business require it? Is this part of your business logic? And this is basically for the customer to decide, are the optional patches needed? Not all of them are. And then lastly, we are currently working on a feature called Outage Info. Right now, we're using it internally. We will be, as soon as we get through the QA over the next 2 months, and ensure that the data we are presenting is actually factual and accurate. This will be added for all customers to see. What it is, as sites slow down and our global command center gets alert through PagerDuty, we will also get notified. SWAT will get notified automatically, and it will immediately start collecting data. This data is used to analyze what's going on in your site by Magento Customer Engineering L2 team, so they can keep the site up, prevent it from going down. So it's basically a proactive preventative. Now, if the site happens to go down just automatically, and things like this do happen, as long as the instance is still running, we can still grab this data for analysis. So this part of the tool is actually in program, design and program to be released, and we're looking towards the latter part of spring, early summer. So this thing I talked about, how do you get to our tool? How do you get to your specific dashboard? Well, we call it the SWAT portal. We have built a portal, there we go, that you can get to from your production and staging environments for Pro and Starter, and you must be on version 2.4.1, and I will get into on-prem customers very, very shortly. This right here is the Magento admin panel. You've probably been there many, many times. There is a feature on the left-hand nav called Reports. When you hit Reports, it will take you to here. There is a new feature called System Insights. Underneath System Insights, you will see Site-Wide Analysis Tool. By clicking on it, if you are given the role of SWAT for your particular admin role, you must be granted this new role. You will be able to get to the SWAT tool. It's basically delegates access to the Magento, to the customer Magento admins. SWAT is not automatically enrolling customer admins. This is the decision by the customer to say who gets into the SWAT tool and who does not. You must have this role, and it's very, very simple to do. From that, you will get to our dashboard, and this is basically the main dashboard. This is the summary page that I was talking about, and I will get in and show you all the different tabs that are across the top there. We also have reporting and training. So before we made this, the tool, the dashboard, accessible by customers, we produce what's called a PDF, a SWAT report. A SWAT report, parts of it, there's an introduction. It actually analyzes your site and puts it up there so you can see what we see. And if there's something wrong, this is literally actual data from your site. And then we actually see, here's an issue. You'll see the overview, descriptions of what we found, results, the impacts, causes, and then the actual recommendation. How do you fix this? This information that we used to produce on reports, and still you can produce reports, it's a feature inside the online tool, it's the same information whether it's on the report or on the dashboard. You will also notice hyperlinks. These links will take you out to developer documentation, knowledge base documentation that's been built by the customer engineering team, and or blog information from the community at large. We actually put it in here and so that you can augment the learning when you go fix things. Next, we've created just 3 videos. We're a little bit behind, and that's on me being the product owner. We are creating a series of online videos again for the new UI that got released this past October. Right now, these little videos here, the 3 of them, actually explain the SWAT report, what it is, how it's sectioned off, and then an explanation of how each section is built and why it's important to see it. The videos are located on the Magento support knowledge base. You must have a support login to access. They are protected. They are not out for the open. If you are a customer or a partner, consultant, SI, as long as your customer grants you access and gives you access into the support desk ticket system, you can find these and actually look at them. They're from 1.5 to 3.5 minutes long. It's very, very, very concise, clear, and it gives you an overview of what's going on. The roadmap and our business case, just making sure that I'm keeping on time here. So, feature developments. This is a little bit about the features we've delivered already. We actually do monthly auto-delivered SWAT reports on the 7th of every single month. All customers at what's called a 0.2 or a 20% or a 20 out of 100 index, it's equivalent to an AppDex. So if you're at a 20, max is 100. If you're at 20 and below, you will automatically receive a SWAT report via the support desk ticket system. We create the ticket, create the report, attach the report, and the support desk ticket goes out and notifies all participants that are linked to that organization. This is to help you fix things. It's to give everybody a little nudge that we're seeing things that your site basically is 20% performant based on the issues we've discovered. During the month of October, right before we went to code freeze, we did a lot of work. We delivered the integration that I just showed you from the Magento backend to the SWAT dashboard. We integrated the patch tool, we integrated the manage alerts, and then in January, we finished analyzing the staging environments. This particular milestone, I want to just take a moment and talk about this. The reason why we now analyze staging environments is if you take a look at the reports or the online dashboard and are able to fix issues in your staging environment, then when you do deployments to production, your production is going to be more stable, more available, more functional, more performant, and more secure. So this is why we highly recommend that you take a look at these reports off the staging environment, or if you're on 2.4.1, real time, and take a look and fix everything in staging before you push to production. What does the future hold? We're working on a historical database integration. We have replicate SWAT databases sitting out in our EDW, our Enterprise Data Warehouse, and we are building massive reporting so that we'll be able to do month over month, quarter over quarter, year over year analysis as a site updates, upgrades, moves up versions. So you can see historically, am I doing better? Am I doing worse? What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? These reports, we've just started on this project the second week of January. We're hoping to have some of this data available early in April. This is a cross-functional effort across literally multiple teams. Our team, the PAS engineering, as well as the BI and analytic data team. We are working on a client agent. Originally, it was designed for our on-prem customers, so they would have the same advantage as our cloud customers that we originally built the SWAT tool for. However, we are designing this client agent for all Magento Commerce Cloud and on-prem customers. Everybody will use the same agent, which will make my life a little bit easier when I start doing quality control. We're also adding a new tab called Security. What it is we are going to be displaying vulnerabilities from the security scans that are run monthly on your site. We will actually display them up on the tab with hyperlinks back to the actual report so you can see the detail of what the security scans have found. Again, if you go back to the premise of the SWAT tool, dashboard, single pane of glass. We are literally grabbing data from all over the corporation, putting it in one place that it's easily viewable, easily obtainable, easily digestible. And then sometime Q2, mid-late summer, we are going to start processing support desk tickets. As we pick up metadata, we will match it against the metadata that we've stored inside SWAT. If there is a match, we will then respond to the support desk tickets with the best practice recommendations and put the ticket into pending, waiting on the customer to respond. Was this good? Did this work? Do you need more help? And this project's been on the books for almost a year, and we're finally getting to it. We now have enough knowledge on how to do this, and we've been collecting enough data to make this realistic. So what did we learn? Real-time monitoring, self-service, crucial managing your website. These are two critical things. This is why I cannot emphasize enough for customers and partners to help customers to get their customers up on 2.4.1 plus as fast and as easily as they can. What did we gain for knowledge? SWAT, site-wide analysis tool, pretty simple. This is a deep commitment driving customer success. Number 2, there is actually a SWAT development team. We have permanently assigned senior developers working on this. They've been around Magento. I think the youngest has been 5 years. So they understand the application. They understand what core and cloud and engineering is doing. With the 4 resources, a manager, myself, plus we have cross-functional support from the engineering team. At any given time, we have 7 to 10 people working on this product full time. It's a unified dashboard where, again, we're collecting information and putting it in a concise place that you can actually look at it. You can access this tool through version 2.4.1 or higher. If you are not on that, you can put an L1 ticket or a support desk ticket in requesting a SWAT report. All the L1 engineers know how to pull this report off. They'd attach it to your ticket. You can reach out to your CSMs and ask them for it as well. They all have been trained on how to produce SWAT reports. Basically, the dashboard, just a series of tabs for site insight, and basically the bottom line, why this tool was built. This is how we started. This is the foundation. What issues is the site having? What are the recommended changes and updates to make the site stable, performant, functional, available, and secure? So, the business case for getting up on 2.4.1. SWAT's proactive, it's strategic, it's diagnostic. Self-service. We offer self-service recommendations and insight to fix the stuff. You can go in there, read the recommendations, and actually do these corrections. Real-time access, again, 2.4.1. Yes, I'm repeating myself, but it's very important. 24/7 monitoring, point in time. It's actually a snapshot when we run that report. And on the dashboard, it's updated every 3 hours. Site alignment and improvement. We are providing best known practices, best known recommendations. Alerts, exposing patches that you need or may need based on how you are running your business. Exceptions and extension upgrades. We actually go and analyze the extensions and say, hey, there's a newer version out there, go get it. And at the end of the day, it's all about the visitor and the user experience. We want users to stay on the site. We want users to click through. We want users to add things to cart. And most importantly, we want users to click the buy button. We want their credit cards. We want their business. By using SWAT, you're going to be able to optimize site stability. You're going to offer visitors a better shopping experience. A better shopping experience, they're more likely to return. And basically, it translates to customer business success. You have a successful site, people are going to hear about it. Visitors talk, reviews, good, bad, or indifferent. This is the bottom line why we're offering this tool, why this tool is a no fee to our customers. We want you, the customer, to be successful. And lastly, I thank you all for attending this part. I'm going to get into the demo if we have time for Q&A. And if anybody needs information about anything, this is my address. This is my email. I'm giving it to you. It's not a pseudonym. My first name is Barnet with 1 T, please. Contact me. Ask me questions. If you want me to do presentations to your team, to your group, to your customers, just let me know. We'll set up a time, and I am more than willing. If we need a technical expertise, I can get a developer, a SWAT developer on the call with us as well. You let me know how I can help you do this. And on to this. So right here, we're going to get into the demo right now, and I'm not sure how to see if there are questions or not, but y'all let me know if there are. Right here, what you're seeing is the Magento admin panel for the SWAT Cloud Sandbox. This is where I play. This is where the senior developers play. This is where we test our stuff to make sure that it passes QA, and we end up breaking our site 4 or 5 times a day purposely. And I get the devs to rebuild it. If you take a look, highlighting this report, if I click on reports, you will see system insights. You will see a new feature here called site-wide analysis tool. By clicking on it, and hopefully I didn't expire, I did. Let me re-sign in. You don't have to do this, I do. I'm inside the network right now. 1 second. We have a timeout set for internal use. And this number doesn't mean anything. It's a one-time use, by the way. So if anybody's copying, there we go. Let's start again. Reports, site-wide analysis tool. Excuse me. It takes you to this splash page. This is from the Adobe legal department. It's basically telling you 2 things. A, SWAT's a collaborative effort. We're pulling data. We expect you to use the data. If you have questions about the data presented, please let us know. And that you're accepting the terms and use. So by clicking accept, it's going to take me, and it takes just a moment to refresh because it's actually pulling from our database right now. And I'll let that just spin for a moment. Looks like we need bigger instances. There we go. But before I get into this, let me show you something else, right? This one. If you are not authorized to get in and you click accept anyway, you will see this error, 403. It means you're not allowed in there. Go talk to your customer account owner. It's not a Magento thing. It's a customer thing. Whoever is the owner of the Magento account can grant you access. We cannot. This is not something that Magento has control over. So back to here. This is the main dashboard. Let me take you through it. You will see the tabs I talked about across the top here. Over on the right-hand side, this section, you will see a button that's on every page. You can generate a report if you want, and we give you options on how to generate it, and you can download it. Since I'm on the internal network, I can actually create a support desk ticket. As a customer, you will not be able to see that, but you can sit and pick and choose what you want. I'm going to cancel that. Excuse me. I'm going to cancel that right there. And let me just open. I thought this was open. Give me 1 second. If you choose to run the report, it looks like this. There's my sandbox account, little introduction, some summaries. It tells me all the findings, all the exceptions, a little bit of overview, what the priority system is, again, the collaborative effort piece, acceptance and terms, and then we get into it. You can see exactly what's going on. And if you remember, I said it's something about distributed trace. Here are the traces that you can get to. We actually built this in. This has been about 2 weeks old that you can actually see things. And it just goes on and on by finding. So that's what the report looks like. You can generate it at will. Here's a health score, 0 to 100. It's the equivalent, if you know anything about AppDex, especially from New Relic. This is your AppDex score. Our site's at a 47, not good. Anything above 80 is great. We purposely keep it, 2 weeks ago, I think it was 15. We just kept breaking things. You will see that I am signed on right here. We pick up the user. This little button right here, it looks like a robot to me. If you click on it, it's a feedback button. Buried in the code, this comes directly to my inbox. So if you have questions, concerns, you just want to chat, you see something wrong, fill it out, and literally it shows up on my Outlook inbox. You will get a response directly from me. Next sections here, we have a notification section. Notification sections used by myself, by the devs. If we see a vulnerability that's just come up, a new OWASP, we'll put it in there. Watch out for this. As we add new features, we will be putting features. Something slated for May is that we will start putting up the support desk tickets as they are created, modified, or closed. We will put a linkable line that you can get out to that support desk ticket. That's a feature being worked on. Over on the right, big piece of this. This shows that I have 1 P0 critical. I have 8 P0s, which means they're urgent, need to get fixed. And I have high. This is the order that we need to fix things. Right now, we don't have any P3s and P4s. Across the bottom, we are still working on this graph. This should give us an overall, but you'll see that it's a real smooth because we were just building this UI, and then you'll see the up and down squiggly lines. That's myself and the devs blowing up our system constantly. So that's what that is. You will see a more defined line over time for other sites. This is purposely done. Well, I shouldn't say purposely done. We're purposely break our sites so we can see how the deployment goes so we can do analytics. In the future, we are working with the Adobe React team. The UI is built in React. You will see vertical lines on here. Green vertical line will mean that you had a successful deploy. A red vertical line means that your deploy had some failure. And what the goal of that is that you'd be able to click on those red lines and actually get into the log code and see what failed, what broke. We are waiting on the React team to help us develop that, this piece, so we can get this integrated. This graph here is a rolling 13 months. And yes, somebody pointed out that the engineer made a mistake. You'll see 2012 here instead of 2021. They are fixing that, and we're doing deploys on Friday to fix that. Next tab over is the information tab. It's general information about your site. You'll see that this particular site's based out of Los Angeles. This particular person owns it, one of the senior developers. This part here, Jira, because I'm an internal user, I see this, you will not. This is to our internal Atlassian Jira product. You will see that that's your base. Internally, we see that that's a base record so that they can go see how your site was to be built. You will see this, the Zendesk system. By clicking on here, it gives you a view of all your Zendesk tickets open, pending, and on hold. You'll see that we don't have any. Over here, Magento Commerce. It actually goes through and we pull up account information that I can open or close, depending on what you want to see. Project information, project URLs, product and information about your products. Site details, it tells you the ECE tool version, what version of Magento. Inventory information, do we have the OMS connector? We don't. OMS is the link to the Magento order management or the MOM system. Our site counts, and depending on how you build your site, those numbers are going to change. And you will see that we are on a single clustered 3-node structure. If customers are on a scaled structure, 6 or more nodes, it will say scaled structure, and it will actually depict how many front end and how many back end nodes you have. The locale, and the main piece here is the services and components section. And up, there we go, let me make this a little bigger. There we go. You will see that the status is all active. We are all good with every one of our tech stack right now. The end of life for these products is in 2022, and this one's coming up in 11/13/2021. 60 days from that date, this status will turn to orange, and it'll say warning, meaning that is coming up to end of life, which means that that piece would be out of compliance. If you happen to have an end of life part of your tech stack, it will be in red. It will show you that the date that it expired, and it'll also tell you what version that you need to get to be back in compliance. So this is all on the information tab. Recommendation tab, we have 11 recommendations. You will see by clicking on these recommendations, the data on the right side changes. That is the detail of the summary from the left. And I can just click on these, and this is a good one right here. We actually give step-by-step instructions on how to run commands. We actually show you, do this, and you will how to fix things. The one above it, nope, excuse me, the one above that. Here's actually code. This is sample code that we give you on how to fix this issue. You will see hyperlinks here. Developer and support documentation, knowledge base documentation. If you still have need to talk to an engineer, we actually built in that you can click on this and the submit button comes up for submitting a support desk ticket. We are giving everything we can to make you, the customer, successful. You will also see we give you root cause analysis, why it's occurring. Is there any preconditions that you must do prior to doing this fix? If you don't fix it, what's the impact? What's the expected result after you fix it? And then we also put here what tools we're using. So as you can see, here's another one right here. The actual code and the steps and the documentation. This is all very simple to do. If there are warnings, we actually, this is replicate. Somebody didn't edit this right. I will fix this evening. If there is a warning, these are to be taken seriously. There are certain things that you do not do. So for example, this one here, the Redis replicate connection is not compatible with scaled architecture. Don't use it. We give you the warning up front. And so on. Exceptions. We're lucky we only have one. The last date it was detected was in December. We go back 60 odd days on exceptions, I believe it is right now. We used to go back 5-6 months, but now it's just a couple. And basically we had a load static content version error. Now, unfortunately, that particular exception did not give us enough information to understand where it came from, but we can scan through our code and go find it. Next, the extensions. We have here's the extensions we're using, and you will see Fastly CDN. We have deprecated this to make sure because we are working on Fastly CDN checks right now, and you will see that we are not on the latest version, and it tells us what the latest version should be. All of this comes from the marketplace system. If you happen to see this, a dashed line, it means that the vendor has not updated their information on Marketplace, and it's those dashes that we notify the Marketplace team, and they go after the vendor to get their data updated. This all comes from the Adobe Marketplace. So you will see no's and yeses here. We do not have any alerts. If we did, it's the same way as the recommendation, summary, detail. The alerts also give you 2 hyperlinks, one into New Relic and one into the runbook on how to specifically fix this issue. Again, all self-service. We are giving everybody the tools such that you can do this yourselves. Patches. We have 20 patches. You will see that we happen to have all ours are optional. If we had required, the type would be required and it would tell us applied or not applied. And the third one, as I mentioned earlier, is custom. If you've customized certain parts, we're able to detect certain customizations, and we're working with the L3 team to keep augmenting that piece. And it'll say this is a custom patch that's needed because of the way your site is configured. If you do have required or custom in any of these, it behooves you to get them downloaded and installed in staging, test, and then deploy into production. The patch I talked about earlier, security, it will sit to the right. It's not here yet. It will be there very, very shortly, probably in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And it will show, again, vulnerabilities. It will look like exactly like the recommendation page. It'll show you the vulnerability. It'll show you the detail and the hyperlink to the actual detailed report. We are not displaying the whole report. It's just the vulnerabilities that the report has picked up. Now, the one thing I have not shown you yet is if you take a look, excuse me, let me get to right here and right here, you will see there are question marks all over the place. By clicking on them, there is contextual help. I still have a long way to go to finish it. I am the actual documentation writer here among my other duties, but we actually have contextual help to tell you what these sections are and how to use them. What do they mean? Why are they so important to look at? So you can click on any of these question marks, get contextual help. If you find the help isn't of value, click that feedback button. Let me know what's wrong. Let me know what you do not like, and we'll go fix it as fast as we can. Wow. With that, I leave about 10 minutes. If there are questions, I am not sure how to see them up on here. If the host would let me know.
I'm sending you in Zoom chat.
In Zoom. Okay, Zoom chat. Let me see where that is. More. Let me go. Chat. There we go. Yep. Yep. I got them. I got them right now. There we go. Thank you. All right. Tom Cook, sir. Thank you, but my father was a sir. He was a doctor. I'm just a normal working person. Is there any demo to view SWAT dashboard and check features like health exceptions recommendations? Is there a demo for it? Oh, very good. No, that is, I am behind on that. That's what I had previously talked about. I have more videos to build. I'm actually starting that next Monday with our animator, and they will actually have a demo that I just went through. It'll actually be one demo per tab. So it'll be 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes, and we will go through. And so we're looking to create 7 short, succinct videos. And I am looking forward to having them out probably within the next 4 to 6 weeks. We will see how fast the animator can work. The other 3 he built in about 3 weeks. So we'll see. Thanks. Very good question. Can SWAT be integrated with a cloud-based alert system, Azure monitoring, for example, to have alerts sent out from a central dashboard? Also, does it have performance implications working on prod environment? Okay, so all alerts are built through New Relic using the managed alert system. That's how we do internal alerts. If you want to build your own alerts as a cloud customer and for on-prem customers that have purchased their own version of New Relic, that tool is an incredible tool to actually build your own alerts and notify you. And the alerts come from the New Relic SaaS environment, not off your production site. So the only resource is collecting the data and pushing it to New Relic, collecting the data and pushing it to SWAT. So if you want to build your own, you're more than welcome. If you have ideas for alerts, please let me know. Send an email to me, barnet@adobe.com, and I will pass them on to the performance engineering team. They're working on a half a dozen ones right now. And does it have implications on the prod environment? The only implication or the only resource is actually the New Relic environment sitting on top, and it's very, very minimal. We made sure of that. SWAT, when actually SWAT runs and pushes data, pulls data into our database, we've had performance engineering team look at large as well as small sites. And the actual resource use is so negligible that it doesn't even register on the needles they're using. It's not even moving. So the performance impact is near zero. Hopefully that answered your question. Is SWAT tool available for Magento 2 community? If yes, then where can we get it? It's for Magento 2 cloud commerce at the moment. Currently, we started this project the second week of January. We are building a client agent that will be for Commerce Cloud and for on-prem only at this moment in time. Once that agent is built, all cloud customers will automatically have it put on their environment. All on-prem customers will be notified by the CSG, the Customer Success Group, on where the actual binary file is stored up on our public Git, and you'll be able to download it, install it, and start pushing data to SWAT. And as long as you're on 2.4.1, you'll be able to come in real time and see it. If you're on anything less, even though you're pushing data, you will need to get a CSM or an L1 ticket in to have them produce a report to give back to you. Let's see. Last question. All right. Barnet, if a client is on Magento Cloud Pro account, but they're on 2.4.0, is SWAT panel accessible? The answer is no. It is not backported. You must be on 2.4.1 or higher. It's specifically not being backported. It's to help merchants push up and get onto the latest release of the Magento version and get all the benefits, the compliance, the security, and the performance of these new versions. What is the process to get access to SWAT if it's not been provided? Again, you must be on 2.4.1 and higher. There is an actual dev doc out there that shows it's 3 easy steps, but it needs to come from the account owner. They grant you the SWAT role, and then you'll be able to go from your Magento admin panel all the way into the SWAT tool. And one thing I do need to mention, I probably did not make it clear enough, is if you're in your production Magento admin panel, you can get to your production version of SWAT. If you're in the staging environment Magento admin panel, you will go to the staging SWAT dashboard. You cannot cross-function these. It's purposely not done. It's a security. We keep production to production, staging to staging. So you must be on your correct customer instance, production or staging, to get into the individual analysis. And with that, if there are no more questions.
We have many questions, but due to time limit, we cannot take more questions. But thank you, Barnet, for such an insightful session. And
you're most welcome. Thank you.
Question, they can directly read to the Barnet. So,
yes. Okay, if you have questions, please send them to me. Thank you. And thank you again for having me.
Thank you.